Hey folks, I have just recently bought myself a Gelli Plate, which I know many people already have, and I'm a bit late to this craze, but I thought I'd give it a go. I have been doing monoprints and lino cuts for quite a few years now. I'm by no means expert at it, but I love doing monoprints, and I thought give this a go, see what this is like, because I've always liked the idea of using gelatin plates but could never really be bothered to make one, so this seems like a good alternative. I'm just going to go through it. I haven't used it yet. I'm just going to go through it this morning and pull a few prints off it, and I thought I'd like to film it just so you can follow along and see what this complete first timer to Gelli Plate makes of it. And I'm not really going to talk much throughout it. I'm planning to just fast forward through most of it so you can just see me working. But I thought I'd start off just by showing you some of the stuff I've collected that I can use to work with the plates. So let's put that to one side. First off, paints. Now, I have a selection here of inks and paints that I've picked out just because I like the colours, or because they're like that, shiny, sparkly. And you may have gathered by now that I do like a bit of shine and sparkle. I've also got some bright gold Liquitex paint. I don't have much in the way of fluid acrylics or craft paints, which I know is one of the things that everyone seems to think is good for using with a Gelli Plate. I don't really possess many of those. The sum total of my fluid acrylics is those two craft paints. I don't know if you can see those. I've got those in shot. Yes, there we go. Not many, as you can see. So what I'm going to be doing is using regular old paints, of which I have a great mixture. Liquitex, gold. I've got one or two goldens, not as many as I'd like, and I'm going to use them with some of this if necessary, which is acrylic glazing liquid. This is a satin one, a golden one, and it's really nice to work with. It's just a thin glazing liquid, and hopefully that will help the paints move around if they seem to be a bit sticky on the plate, and it will also extend the open time of them, I'm hoping. So that's that. Other things I've got are some baby wipes for cleaning up, some paper towel, a spray bottle, and then I've also got brayers. I've got a selection of brayers from lino printing and monoprinting already, so that I didn't have to go out and buy any of those. I don't know which ones will be the most useful, but I've got a selection in case. Next up, I've got paper, and I went and got some of this Fabriano paper, which is just a sort of heavyweight drawing paper, really. It's well, it says there 160 gram A4 size, which for the size of plate I've got, which is 8 by 10, should be fine. It'll just give me a little border around it. I've got a whole bunch of that to work with, so that should work out all right. I've got a journal there, which I'm going to just use to roll off. I say a journal, it's a blank book basically. The paper's not very thick, but I thought I could use it to roll off the rollers, clean them a bit in between wipes. And other than that, I've got a selection here of stamps and things which I can use to make marks on the plate. Various things, foam stamps, a bit of corrugated cardboard, a homemade one there. I've got some other homemade stamps which I may dig into presently. I've also got bubble wrap in 2 sizes, and the base off a pizza, actually, that is. Cleaned, of course. I did wash it. So I thought they'd make good tools for just stamping into things or lifting the paint off, really. to make patterns. And the other thing I've got is masks and stencils, and these range from things I've punched out with punches like that, to bits of sequin waste, to actual stencils. That's an onion bag, a piece of this is Ace stuff actually. I found this in the local haberdashery shop. It's some sort of ribbon or trim, but it's quite stiff, and I don't know if it's I think it is woven, but it's quite a stiff weave, and as you can see it's got this fantastic sort of almost cobwebby pattern to it, and that makes a really nice stencil. And then of course I've got various sizes of stencils and masks. I've got a Tim Holtz mask there and various other things. Some of the handmade. Again, that's just a punch, a big circle punch that I punched stuff out of, and they're all getting tangled up now. Okay, so I'm going to be using some of those as well. I'm going to just go get some water so that I can dunk stamps when I've used them, so the acrylic doesn't dry on them. And then I'll set up the jelly plate and we'll get going. Okay, so what have I learnt today with this? Well, I've learnt that it's a lot of fun, and also that I think I'm going to have to get some fluid acrylic paints because quite a few of my paints are past that stage of being very fluid in the tube, so they don't really want to spread very well. As you may have seen, I was struggling with some of them, but I've managed to get a few prints off, and the amount of texture the plate picks up and the amount of pattern the plate picks up is really nice. I've used metallics, I've used straightforward colours, and I've used a few acrylic inks, and you can get some really nice effects. That one was one I did just onto a bit of collaged paper. I intend to work over all of these afterwards with other things. I'm planning on making them probably into a journal, which will be a future video. But for the minute, I'm just going to keep doing some more and see if I can get the hang of this. Fluorescent paint. Doesn't look very fluorescent on the camera, I know, but this is fluorescent orange. Yeah, there's a bit more. I like that. I'm not quite sure how that texture happened. I think that was just the texture from where the stencil was. But I really like that. Pattern, sorry, not really texture. It's not raised, it's more pattern, but it's very pretty. And yeah, that's nice. The metallics and pearlescent, metallic paints and pearlescent inks I used give a nice effect. That's a bit blah, but could put some more stuff on top of that and make it a bit more interesting. Those chalky fluid craft paints I have kind of instantly deaden everything you put them on top of, really, so I need to be a bit careful with those. Stencils work nicely, as do simple things like bubble wrap. Seem to work pretty nice too. Again, that's gone a bit muddy, but excuse me, that could be revived, I think, with a bit of work. And that one, again, more nice texture. That was that piece of ribbon, synthetic ribbon with all the holes in that I showed you at the beginning, and the net bag from the onions. So yeah, so it's been fun, and I'm going to do more of it, obviously, and see if I can perfect a few more techniques, and then use some of these pages for putting together a journal. Well, I hope you've enjoyed playing along with me and watching all my attempts, and I'll see you again soon, I hope. Thanks for watching. Bye.